Engineer Henry Nduka Awureko, the CEO and Director General, Scholars Chamber of Commerce and Industry, is here again to tell you how to improve yourself. Welcome.
Thank you very much, our wonderful presenter, and the entire listeners, all my friends and followers of this program. We want to really appreciate you. We've been on a serious journey that has to do with how to package our skills and our jobs and package our professions and of course our businesses. We've taken it to the point where we've been able to discuss on how to brand ourselves in order to not just remain solution providers, service providers, but to become a brand. Each and every one of us ought to become brands of what we do, so that we will be treated as such by our clients, by our employers, by our customers, and all that do one business or the other with us. Today we want to take the conversation further by looking at the need to move from resource-based economy to innovation-based economy. I'm glad that as much as I know, most of us are aware that we have elected a competent governor for Ebonyi State come May 29th, 2023. And that governor is more innovative than resourceful. He is more innovative than, yes, we all are blessed with enormous resources. Every human being is blessed with what we call talents, potentials. Each and every one of us, we have those talents, those resources available. Just as in the on the earth, or every especially here in Nigeria, we are blessed with enormous mineral resources, natural resources. That is how every human being is also loaded with potentials, capacities. The only challenge we normally have is the challenge of untapped potentials, unused resources, or taking it further, using resources raw, crude, without adding any value, without transforming from one resource to other products, value chains. So we need to quickly move from resource-based economy to innovation-based economy. That's exactly what we're expecting in our state. From May 29th, we will translate, we will be transformed, we will be transferred from the level of raw materials users, from the level of tapping from natural resources, both in our human and our lands. We will now begin to see how innovation will take the center stage, even in governance, in business, in agriculture, name them, even in our education. We want to see that innovation. And of course, the truth is that we need to quickly move from resource-based economy to innovation-based economy. That is the focus of our discussion today. And we thank God for the person of Right Honorable Francis Ogbonnanwivuru, who is already prepared. He is loaded, and I can tell you that for sure, that he is already prepared to take this very job of transforming Ebonyi from resource-based economy to innovation-based economy. That is why the greatest gift available to Right Honorable Francis Ogbonnanwivuru is the people of Ebonyi State, not the mineral resources, not the fertile ground or land that is everywhere in Ebonyi State, but the human beings, especially those who have discovered their gift and are ready to utilize this gift for the development of Ebonyi State. Those are the greatest friends that our governor-elect has today, and I can tell you that for sure. But for us to gain deeper understanding of our discussion today, I want to give all our listeners today the 3 levels of economic development in any society, in any country, in any world, wherever you find people. There are 3 levels of economic development. The good news is that you can transform from one level to the other. There is no level that is meant to remain permanent with Nigeria and another level meant to remain permanent with Canadians. There is no level that is meant to remain permanent with me as a person and another level meant to remain permanent with you. Because when we're talking about, any society, any country, any state, we're also talking about individuals, individual human beings. As we are talking about the 3 levels of economic development in any society, we are also talking about the 3 levels of economic development in any person. So anybody can choose the particular level to utilize. Level number 1 is what we call the resource-based economy. The resource-based economy. The second one is what we call efficiency-based economy. Efficiency-based economy. And then the 3rd level of economic development is the innovation-based economy. I take it again. The resource-based economy, efficiency-based economy, and innovation-based economy. Now, we will discuss these 3 so that each and every one of us, anyone that is listening to me now, will be able to know where you as a person is operating and where your society, your local government, your state, your country is operating. And then, if time permits us, we will also talk about how to shift. I like that word, shift. How to shift from one level to the other. If we are not able to discuss on that, we can take it in the next episode. Now, let's start with the resource-based economy. A resource-based economy, or what we call natural resource-based economy, is that of a people, or of a person, or of a country, or of a state, or of a local government whose gross domestic product, GDP, okay, gross domestic product, to a large extent comes from natural resources. Now, I give you examples of, natural resources. Of course, you know that, like lead, limestone, crude oil, sand, whatever is natural or naturally deposited, and you take it raw like that and sell to make money. By the time you are taking those natural resources to sell to make money, what it means is that that raw material is your source of GDP, gross domestic product. That's the meaning of GDP. Now, whatever gives you income, take your GDP as whatever gives you income. Anything, because I believe that we are not all at the same level of knowledge. So as we are talking, we want everybody. We don't want, not all of us did economics. So we try to avoid, including me, I didn't do economics. So I'm trying to avoid using economic terms. Now, GDP actually is an economic term, but let's reduce it to a layman's understanding. That whatever gives you your income, your source of income, is taken as your gross domestic product. Okay? So, that thing that is the source of your income, if the source of your income is domiciled on just the natural resources available to you, then you are operating at a resource-based economy. And that is the primary level of economic development. That is the least level of economic development. Now, but you can take it further. And there are people who have taken theirs further. Ebonians can equally take theirs further. And there are a lot of people are already doing that. You know, from resource-based economy to efficiency-based economy. Now, in efficiency-based economy, you now have a GDP that comes from your handwork, your physical production. Take, for example, taking the leather or the skin of animals and converting it into leather for shoe making, for bag making, and you are using your hand to do all of that, you know, cultivating your farm, agricultural production, planting cassava, rice, and expecting yield, and even parboiling the rice and bagging it for sale in the rice mill. You have entered into the efficiency based economy where you work with your hand. A lot of people are already there now. If you go to Aba in Abia State, you see a whole lot of people who are operating at the efficiency based economy, working with their hand, cutting cloths, sewing the cloths, and selling what they have sewn. That is efficiency based economy. You go take it further, you go to China, you see a lot of efficiency based economy, even though that's not where they are. They have graduated from that level, but you see a whole lot of people that are working with their hands. Anytime you depend, or your hand is your source of your income, that is, your handwork is the source of your gross domestic production, then you are operating at the efficiency based economy. Now, the third one, which is the best, and that is where we want to operate, because that level appears to be limitless. That level appears to be advanced, and that is the level of innovation-based economy. Okay? That is the best for us now, for obvious reasons, bordering on technology, bordering on the level at which the world is operating. You know, this world is very dynamic. So, the innovation-based economy is the type whose gross domestic product comes from their creative ideas, comes from knowledge, comes from service delivery, creating answers to questions, creating solutions to human problems. Take, for example, during COVID-19, people were not moving up and down, people were locked down, and they needed to meet with other people, and then Zoom came on board. Zoom outshined every other thing, and up till today, Zoom have disrupted at least that field of meetings, that field of communication. Zoom has really disrupted that, and it is a product of somebody's idea. So it is important that we graduate from resource-based to innovation-based, and that is the reason for this conversation. We will talk a little about how to do this graduation after this time out. I remain your anchor, Henry Ndoka Aurego.
Are you ready to develop your skills and profession to suit international standards? Are you ready for global opportunities in scholarships, skills, and services? Will you like to be prepared, packaged, and positioned to export your services and skills overseas? Then, this short diploma certificate course in productivity development is for you. From the Skills Development Council of Canada, it will be coming live on Wealth Link radio program, a business school on radio, powered by the Scholars Chamber of Commerce Commerce and Industry here on ABBC 98.1 FM at Abakaliki. Join us on Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 p.m. and on Thursday from 4:30 to 5 p.m. You can also join the WhatsApp class by sending your full name to 0805 038 8388. Again, 0805 038 8388. 0805 038 8388. Diploma in Productivity Development from the Skills Development Council of Canada is a sure key to open global economic empowerment. Join us.
Welcome back. We have been talking about the need to move from resource-based economy to innovation-based economy. We have also discussed on the 3 levels of economic development, which has to do with resource-based, efficiency-based, and innovation-based. We've said that a resource-based or natural resource-based economy is that of a people, a community, a local government or state whose gross domestic product, GDP, to a large extent comes from natural resources. We've also explained that an efficiency-based economy is that of a people whose GDP, that is gross domestic product, is coming from their handiwork and physical productions. And we said above all is the innovation-based economy, which is where we want to emphasize on, and that it is the type of economy which the GDP, the gross domestic product, emanates from your ideas, the creative ideas of the people that make up that society, the knowledge and the service delivery that goes along with it. So, where we are now is, why do we need to graduate from resource to innovation? A typical example is where we are in Nigeria today. We are in a time when we have crude oil, but our oil refineries are not working. We have mineral deposits, but we lack the industries where these minerals are converted to products. We have a lot of people who are gifted in one area or the other, but we lack the platform, the industrial mechanism and the setup where these people can utilize the potentials in them to give or to produce valuable products. We are in need of creating value chain for the natural resources available to us. I take Abakaliki rice mill, for example, where you have the rice husk, you have all that come out from rice, but the only thing we are selling for now is just the rice. The rice husks sometimes painfully are set on fire just to reduce the heat of all those husks, and we set them on fire to burn them without knowing that those ashes can be used to produce other things, including the POP, including the ceiling board that we purchase. Sometimes we import them from overseas. And it is so painful that we turn wealth to waste instead of turning waste to wealth. Today, Germany imports waste. Germany import waste. They pay money and waste will be exported from other countries to their country because of what they want to use it for. But here, we burn our waste, we throw them into pits, we bury them, and we litter them all over without any form of recycling. We were in Israel a few weeks ago, and Israeli water, or the Israeli source of water supply, is not the type we have here. Their source of water supply is the same water you used in flushing your toilet, the same water you used in washing your clothes, the same water you used in whatever. Nothing is wasted in Israel. And that water will go back to a particular source where it will be recycled, condensed, and it will still be rechanneled back to supply for people to use again. And I think we drank the water is even cleaner, tasteless, better than our best here. And so it is important to understand that God has blessed us with enormous resources, not just human resources, but natural resources littered everywhere. We are only making a whole lot based on just one out of the billions of resources that God has given to us. And it is time for us to become innovative. To become innovative is to kill tradition, because the greatest enemy of innovation is tradition. Tradition is how we have been doing it. Innovation is doing it differently. And a wise man said that it is only a madman that will continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. We are living in a time that our wealth can only come by our capacity to disrupt our knowledge. The greatest enemy of what we need to know is what we already know. And so it is important that we do things differently. It is important that we change our thoughts, change the way we reason, change the way we do things, change our modus operandi. And I believe that when we do that, the economy will shift from resource-based to innovation-based. How do we do this shift? We go back to our 12 T's. We have been talking about the 12 T's, and this is the time to bring it to bear. If we must shift from resource-based economy to innovation-based economy, we will go back to our 12 T's. T number 1 is training. Our schools must become training grounds. Every human being must continue to strive for training in your areas. That is why it is called training and retraining. Training and retraining. You keep on getting new things by training. And then the second T is technology. To every training, there is a technology attached. Thank God that we know today that there is no sector that is not controlled by technology. There is no field of human endeavor that does not have some technological applications. Any field at all, including clergy, lawyers, doctors. Every sector, every field has some technological attachment. And so you keep on asking, as someone who wants to shift from resource-based to innovation-based, you keep on asking, what is the technology that is both correct and current for what I'm doing? Because the technology may be correct, but it may not be current. I don't have time to talk about that, but just take it that there are some technologies that are already obsolete. Then when you have the technology, you ask for the tools. Tools. What are the implements? What are the equipment that will be used in this very field of mine? What are the most current? What are the most applicable tools to use? And today, tools are no longer, like I always say, sometimes jokingly, but it's true. Tools are no longer just hammer and saw, hoe and machete. Tools have been reduced to apps that you can download into your phone. Like today we have the Chat GPT. You just ask any question, just ask your phone any question and you start hearing different answers. Chat GPT. So those are tools. When you have the tools, you go to the next T, which is techniques. The methodology, the procedures. What do we do? How do we do it? Okay? So when you have the tools now, I've talked about training, technology, tools, and techniques. Then the 5th T is trade. You must understand that trading is exchange of values. And we cannot be innovative when we are not trade conscious. Exchange of values. There is something you have which somebody is looking for. How do you package it in such a way that it will be sellable? That is trading. Exchange of values. And within that trade, you have tasks. That's T number 6. What are the tasks involved in my trade? What are the activities? What do I need to do? What am I supposed to do per time? Which is the 7th T, time. And I always say, time your task and task your time. Time your task and task your time. Then the T number 8 is travel and tourism. You must know how to travel. You cannot remain a local champion. God created you a global citizen. That is why when God said you are the light of the world, He didn't say you are the light of your village or the light of your community. He said you are the light of the world. So if you can, try and travel around the world. Traveling brings contact, and contact gives contract. What did I say? Travel gives contact, and contact gives contract. You need connection. You need B2B. Business must talk to business. You also need B2G. Your business must talk to government. You need to travel. And then the next T is trend. That is T number 9. Trend. What is trending? What is current now? What is happening? What is the style in vogue? What approach are we expecting to use in the now? So what is really trending? You need to ask that question, and you keep on asking that question. And then T number 10 is target. What is the goal before me? What am I supposed to achieve before the end of this year? Through my job, through my profession, through the skills that I have. And then you go to T number 11, which is team. Team, T-E-A-M. Form a team. You don't even need to gather people in one house before you form a team. You can use your Facebook and form a team. You can use your WhatsApp and form a team. Team stands for together, everyone achieves more. Together, everyone achieves more. So who are your team members? Become a team builder. And when you do that, you get to the last T, which is T number 12, and that is turnover. Turnover has to do with profit, gain. So for us to translate from resource-based economy down to efficiency-based economy and finally to innovation-based economy, we must follow the 12 T's. From training down to turnover. Unfortunately, most of us start by counting the turnover. Today, the tide has changed already. There is a new era that has come on board, and that era is led by our principal, Right Honorable Francis Ogbonna Nwifuru, who is coming to disrupt the way things have always been done. He has started that by showing that it is possible for youths to be in power. And that's why you can see the marvelous achievements within the local government sectors that are, manned by youths, young people, taking over the saddle of government. We give it to our governor, our sitting governor, our own infrastructural professor, Engineer Dr. David Umezu, who believes so much in the youth, who said I will hand over to the youth. Because innovation is not far from the youth. The brain of the youth is, anybody who is a youth, your brain is at its peak. And that is the best platform for innovation. When you can think critically, when you can think analytically, when you can think creatively, and by so doing, you will come up with enormous turnover. Don't just start by considering what am I going to get and how. No. Those things are not necessary. Start with training. Start with technology. Start with the right tools. Start with the right techniques. Go into the trade. Every field of human endeavor is a trade, including politics. You don't just see politics as a channel of making money. It should be a channel of adding value. It should be a channel of exhibiting the power of relevance. And by so doing, you would have entered into the level where your turnover is guaranteed. Yes, turnover is guaranteed because a workman deserves his wages. Whatever you do and do it very well, I bet you must benefit from that which you do. I want to pray that God blesses you that God will show you the way out of any economic harassment you are passing through, and put an idea, a workable idea, an idea that you'll be committed to, that will enable you to change the story and turn your problem into promotion, and turn your disadvantage into an advantage, and turn your stumbling block into a stepping stone. And I believe that if we as Ebonians will decide to do this, which we are just saying now, Ebonyi, in few months' time, will become the Dubai of Africa. God bless you till I meet you next week. I remain your brother, Henry Ndoka Aworego.
Thank you very much.